Okay, this Technics SL-10, it's not quite speed stable, but you can tell why. If you rotate it, you can hear a scraping sound. It's scraping, and the strobe varies. So there must be, I think there's something rubbing. This puck has got a little bearing that pushes down the record. I think it must be rubbing. Okay, you release the stay down here by pulling it, and so this hole can fold back. Then you're going to take out all the screws around here. By the way, I've taken the cartridge out and put it away safely. Undo that screw and then it just pops out. And while I'm at it, you can always clean and re-grease these. So it's just a matter of getting this cover off first. After removing all the screws from the inside cover, it is just held by a small clip there. If yours won't come off, but it should come off. And also there's a switch underneath that you need to get it off of. But down there you go. You can take that off, and you can access everything here. Still can't really get to all the drive mechanism under there, but here's the motor, the belt, the guide thing, which you want to make sure is clean, and you can ease this away. I think there's another screw there, and they look under there. But here is the this thing is rubbing, I think, and I don't like it because it just presses the record between there and there. It's just another thing that can cause noise, which you don't want. And it's only useful if you're going to play this standing vertically or upside down, which I don't think anyone's ever going to do. I think these days you just have it horizontal. So unless you've got a warped record, which it helps to push it down. If you have got a warped record, you can buy little rubber things that push down and grip the center. Most records you use on a deck like this won't be warped anyway. So I'm going to take it off, just a couple of screws holding it on, I think, and remove that. Right, 2 screws, and it's out. So put that away safe in case somebody uses this again and wants to put it back in, so you don't lose it. But there's the ball that pressed on that hard plate. No more rumbling or dragging from that. Right, 1 screw releases the circuit board, and you can also take this clip out so that it moves out the way. You've got the speed encoder here. You have to be careful, it just fits between those 2 little black parts there. Now this has got a lot of grease and stuff on it, and this one is very sticky here, so that needs to be cleaned off. Clean this up very nicely with something. This black stuff on here, I think I'll clean this up without breaking it. It's quite tight. And check this wheel out. I haven't got any very sticky old grease on it. And there's the carriage, of course, slides along on that. And just you can rotate the wheel if you want. Make sure it's going to be clean. It's just the micro switch for the end stop there. That is when this gets to the correct end point there, it operates that micro switch. It's got a little adjustment on there if it's wrong. There's another micro switch on that end for when it reaches full treble. All seems good. Right, using some Pampers Natural Clean, which is quite good, which won't damage plastic. You can get it behind the guide rod and work it off all this dirt, all this old grease down there. And we're going to do these guide rods as well. Going to get anything sticky off, and if necessary, re-grease it with a modern grease if these things are sticking at all. One more thing I think I'll do, this spring, there's one on this side, seems to have got pushed down and got stuck inside, and the only way to get it out is to take the this top off. Now take the top off, get inside, you just unscrew this anti-clockwise and it comes off. It's got a spring, and then you're going to take this nut, undo this nut, and you'll be able to lift the turntable out. I've undone the nut crinkle washer and lifted out the turntable, exposing the inside. Now we still can't get to this part until we undo all these screws and take this inside, this cover plate off. So right, we moved 9 screws, including 2 here and there, which are under these little rubber caps, which you have to leave it out. And there's also this plate here you unscrew from the back, and then it comes loose, and we're going to lift it up like that. I'm going to see what's happened down there with that little plunger thing there. Right, looking at the plunger, it's got jammed down. This little bit of plastic should slide up and down in that slot. It's been pushed right down and it's got stuck. So I'm just going to loosen that screw off, and it's got a spring underneath and it should pop back into position. Right, I loosened the screw there and just twisted it round into the slot, and now it's popped back up. It's the same as this one on this side now. There was a tiny little bit of plastic that had broken off, but I don't think it's going to stop it working. While we're in here, the switch for the MMMC comes under here. It's worth cleaning that, I think. Just need to remove this screen. This is over the amplifier for the pickup. Well, I'll just clean that pot because it was playing up. It's on the back, there's a little push button. You have to push it in and out a few times because it wasn't making a good contact, so I'll clean that as well. I've taken the 4 screws out that hold this plate on, just little screws. This earth wire's been glued on top, and the switch is just underneath. It's just down there. So I'm just going to squirt some this contact cleaner onto top of the switch. It will penetrate, and just work it backwards and forwards a bit. I'll get this in there, just under that plate. So I'm going to do that. Finally, to oil, re-grease or leave the centre bearing. In the service manual it doesn't speak about doing anything. I did notice that the turntable spun very freely on the bearing. There was no noise or anything, and to take it out is means taking this off. I don't think it's going to need re-greasing. As I say, it spun. The turntable spun very nicely. There's a small gap underneath. I could run some thin oil in if necessary, but that's the most I think it would need to do. Just check the speed and operation before I screw it all together. Put on a strobe. Let's just check the speed. Yep, the outer one's holding dead steady, which is 33. Can we switch it to 45? Yep, that's the middle one. Okay, just a few notes about putting this cover back on. First of all, make sure you put the stay through the slot. There's a little white switch under there, goes through a little cutout, so make sure that goes in there. I suggest you leave the cartridge off until you fitted it, in case you catch it while you're putting it on the side of the cover there. The screws, there's an extra long screw goes in there. Most of the others are short. These are medium length, and this one here is a machine screw, and it's got a little washer on it. When you put the middle bit in, there's a clip inside. You can see it now without the puck in there. It clips behind the plastic housing, so be careful when you're putting that on there. You don't jam it in and either break the housing or distort it. And one more main thing is this slider here that covers the wires. Make sure it goes behind the case and you don't have it down here on the outside of the case, because it's got a stop on it, and then if you forget to put that behind there, it'll jam and you'll have to take the whole thing off again. So that's very important, that part there. Otherwise it all goes back on nice, and then it just it clips back in there. And well, it's back together now, but without the troublesome puck. Let's try it with this Norah Jones 10-inch record. Make sure it works. Let's press start. That's working good. Let's just check the cueing. Yep. And the pickup at the end. Okay, that's fine. Now that is the cartridge. The moving coil cartridge, I do have one, which I could also put in, and this has got a switch in the back for the moving magnet or moving coil, which makes it quite useful. But moving coil cartridges for this, which are P-mount, are virtually impossible to buy. I don't think anyone makes any anymore. So if you break your moving coil one, you'll have to use a moving magnet one.